Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. Today I'm just going to be talking about some life updates and I'm going to fold some laundry. So this last week I just got back from my choir tour. While we were on tour, we went to Colorado. It was really fun because while we were in Colorado, we stopped at Estes Park. And okay, one of my favorite movies is The Shining, and which seems kind of funny, but I don't know, I just really love that movie. And the author Stephen King stayed at the Stanley Hotel in Estes Park, which is supposedly one of the most haunted hotels in America, but I don't know if I really believe that. But it's where he stayed, where he got the plot for the book, The Shining. So my fiance Soren and I walked over to the hotel from where we all got dropped off and went inside and looked around. And as much as I love the movie The Shining, I have never read the book. So it was super fun because I was able to buy the book at the hotel that inspired the book, which was just so cool. And it's funny because I'm not super into horror things really, but The Shining to me is just a really good story. Even though I'm not a super big fan of horror movies, I do tend to like thrillers, and The Shining is one of them that I really love. So that was super cool to see. One of the really fun things about being on tour also is that we only sing in churches. It's really fun getting to see what a bunch of different churches are like, because there can be ones that are more traditional or contemporary, or churches that have both, which is super cool. So it's always fun to see different churches because you have the church you grow up in, and that's kind of what you're used to. So it's great to see that there's different types of churches out there, especially if you went to the same church your whole life. I think it's a really valuable experience, especially since a lot of people in choir at my school are going into ministry. It's really valuable to know that there's more than one type of way to do church right. And we were gone for 6 days, and luckily not all of them were school days, but it's at that point in the semester where there are literally, I think, 3 weeks left of school, and that is including finals week. So we are in the sprint to the finish, and I still have a few assignments that I need to catch up on. This is my first senior semester, and I am lacking motivation like crazy. I'm hoping that I regain my motivation kind of back in fall semester, and that is just because it's spring semester that I'm tired and have no motivation, but I'm hoping that that changes in fall. My classes are going really well, so that's good and that's what matters, but it's just the little last bit of effort has been rough. And I also have my capstone that I need to finish, and I've written the Bible study that I have for it, and I've scheduled when the Bible study is going to be, which is good, but I still need to get it checked over by my advisor for my capstone and make sure that everything's good. And then I'll need to write like a 4-page paper on my capstone and how everything went. Honestly, I'm pretty excited for that just because it's a little bit more free form and reflection rather than doing like this academic paper. So I'm not really worried about getting anything done as long as everyone else does what I need them to do, which is always the scariest part. Aside from school, I've also been working a lot on different wedding planning things. I'm doing something pretty fun for table numbers. I'm going to have a little sign and then pictures of Soren and I when we were the age of the table number. So it will say when we were 1 year old or 2, however many tables we're going to have. And then we're going to have pictures of us when we were that age. So I think that's going to be pretty cute. My parents sent me my pictures, and my future mother-in-law is going to send me the pictures of Soren, I think this weekend or whenever. But it's no rush, so I'm not worried about it. I'm just kind of getting what I can get done while I'm away from California. I've done here. Another thing that I was working on is kind of deciding which foods we want, because Soren and I talked about what foods we wanted, but we didn't decide on like a salad dressing or the flavoring for different types of meat that we're going to have at our wedding. So I was just looking at what the restaurant we're going with has to offer, because I know some people who are coming to the wedding are going to be gluten and dairy free. So I wanted to make sure that they have some good options. I think we're going to go with, it's a lemon tahini dressing with a garden salad, which is gluten and dairy free, and then mesquite barbecue tri-tip, and then lemon garlic chicken. So hopefully those are good options. I don't eat meat, I'm vegetarian, so I always get worried, but Soren, I think those are the ones that he wanted too, and if he wants something different, then we will change it. I'm not too worried about it, as long as people have options. But apart from that, with wedding planning, we haven't been doing a ton. We've started doing more premarital counseling. We're doing our premarital counseling with our chaplain on campus. We love him. He's one of our friends' dads. And then we've also decided kind of more on what flowers we're going to go with. I think I'm going to go more in depth about what we're doing decoration-wise in another video, but I kind of want to do it when maybe I have some of the stuff. I might also do some DIY videos this summer, because my dad and I are going to be making a few things for the wedding, which will be super fun. But for the wedding flowers, I really want, most of them are going to just be like white calla lilies, because I was originally wanting to just do white calla lilies, but then Soren was really wanting to have more color involved. So it took so long to find flowers that we both liked, because the flowers that were colorful, he was a big fan of. I did not like that much, but I didn't want to just override his opinion, because I think it's so important that a wedding is what both people want, not just what the bride wants. Because I think a wedding shows people what your relationship is like. And I don't want it to seem like I'm the main one in the relationship, because I'm not. It's about both of us. And I think that it's so important that the wedding day is also about Soren, because it's not just my day, even though I'm the bride. I think that's one thing that people look over a lot, especially with seeing different social media trends, is they think it has to be this picture perfect moment, when really it doesn't have to be. There will be pictures of the moments, and they'll be beautiful whatever you decide to do, but it doesn't have to be what everyone else is doing. I'm super excited for this summer, because we're finally going to really be able to dive into everything, because I've been able to create like our wedding website, and we've been doing our registry, and we have that finished now, unless if things go out of stock or are no longer made, which does happen. And I think I'm going to do a video about creating a registry and how to do it on different websites, because there's so many to choose from. And not all of them integrate into wedding websites if you're using like the Knot or Minted or whatever for your wedding website. So that's something that's kind of important to take into account. And making the registry is probably one of my favorite parts of it, because you're choosing all the items that will probably be in your house someday, or at least that you guys both like. It's just one of the really fun parts of getting married, I think. Soren and I will hopefully go cake testing. I think we already know what we want to get, but I've always dreamt of going cake testing for my wedding someday, so we have to do it. Plus, I want us to be sure that we're getting the flavors of cake that we want to have. I think we're going to go with more of a traditional look of the wedding cake and have it be, I think we decided on 3 or 4 tiers. I can't really remember, but I think we're going to have chocolate for the biggest layer at the bottom, and then lemon, and then my choice of coconut. But we both think that people will probably not want coconut the most, and people will probably like chocolate the best. But we might end up just doing lemon and coconut, because those are the cakes that we both want. So I don't know, we'll see what we end up deciding. One thing we also need to do this summer is meet with our pastor who's officiating the wedding and get set in stone how the ceremony and everything will go. I'm thinking we're going to have a pretty long ceremony just because of all the different elements that Soren and I both want in it. But other than that, I haven't had really a ton of stuff going on. I've pretty much just been really busy with school, and then I have been working also, and catching up after tour is not the easiest. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it and enjoyed getting to know me, hopefully a little bit more, and just what's going on in my life. And I hope to see you next time. Bye!